Hi everybody, you're very welcome today to the Gloucestershire County Senior Championship final between St Nick's GAA Bristol and St Jude's GAA Bournemouth here at Horsepark Athletic and Sports Ground, Oxford. So it's a beautiful day here for football. I'm joined by Kevin McDonough in my commentary box. How are you today, Kevin?
We're very well, we're excited and looking forward to this game of football, which is almost a repeat of the county finals for the last 2 years, which normally has a kick of a ball between the two teams. St Jude's have taken that winner's title for the last couple of years. Prior to that it was St Nick's, so really we are going to see the best two teams here currently in Gloucestershire playing off in the county final.
Yeah, that's it. Like you say, there hasn't really been more than a kick of the ball between the two teams the last couple of years. The county final last year played in the exact same grounds. 2-point win for St Jude's on that day, but it could have gone either way, and St Jude's are looking for 5 in a row today, so St Nick's looking to put a stop to that. How do you see it going today?
As I said, a kick of a ball will be between it. St Jude's, as I say, county champions, and also would have been the league winners this year within Gloucestershire. But St Nick's certainly had a good battle against a much improved Cardiff St Columkills in the semi-final a few weeks ago, where again they just pulled away in the second half. So it'll be a kick of a ball in it, and it's a wee bit different for myself, Richard, this year. Because I was the man in the middle last year, refereeing it, and I'm in a new position now with yourself here at a table at the side of the pitch, doing a bit of commentary and trying to control a sound box, a mixing desk, and watch the game of football. So it's sure to be an interesting afternoon here.
Yeah, definitely. Is there more pressure in the commentary box than there was refereeing?
I'm probably going to say yes. Because with the game of football, each game takes its own life of its own, but when you're refereeing it, we're watching the game, we're watching the ball, and we're following the rules of the game. I would say in a commentary box, and first time sitting behind this apparatus, there's no rules in some respects, so we'll do the disclaimer now at the start that we'll apologise if there's any swear words from ourselves or the commentators. We'll hope there won't be, but we'll try and keep the thing moving along. If there is periods of silence, don't worry, we're not Martin Taylor, Jamie Carragher, or even Micheál O'Mulharty. We'll try and keep the conversation to a minimal, maybe, and we'll try and let the football do the talking. So both teams are just lining out at the moment, our team huddles. We've also got, and it's fair to say, so we're just going to look at the starting lineups here for St Nick's and Bristol. I'll hand over to Richard here.
Yeah, so in goal we have Connolly Jarrett. Connolly's played in goal for St Nick's for a number of years. He's been here and a very, very solid goalkeeper, a great shot stopper, as I suppose you'd want from your goalkeeper. At number 2 we have Killian Murray. Number 3, then we have Nigel Farrelly. He's been playing with St Nick's for a long, long time. Very experienced head, will keep things calm back there at the back. At number 4 we have John Polly. John Polly again has been part of this St Nick's team and has been on the losing final for a few years now and looking to change that today. Conor McGuicken, a relatively new signing to St Nick's, has been here a couple of years, and a very, very strong player, fit, able to get up and down the field there. Number 6 today for St Nick's is their captain, Brendan Byrne. Brendan keeps things going at training, is up and down the field, stamina of something with a lot of stamina. Then we have number 7, Oliver Hughes. Number 8, Joey Murphy. The two of them likely to line out in midfield together, so I wouldn't pay too much attention to any numbers maybe that are shown here today. Number 9, Gavin Dungan. Gavin is as good a footballer as is in Gloucestershire, and hopefully he'll be able to show that off today. Mark Duffy then lining out at number 10. Mark has played at Cardiff. He's now playing with Bristol and he's been here a few years. Then Jason Cott, a former St Jude's clubman actually, who signed for St Nick's a couple of years ago. Sean McCarthy at number 12. Peter Cafferkey, Matthew Mannion and Ivan Delaney then make up the full forward line, and that hopefully should be a very strong full forward line for St Nick's. And I'll hand over then to Kevin to do the St Jude's team.
Yes, so St Jude's Bournemouth here, just as they probably careful of the referees, already got the captains in, so we'll do a quick run through there of the players. Obviously Willie O'Connor in goals, from County Kerry, native, playing for St Jude's this last 4 years. And yeah, I suppose as the teams are turning around here now for the throw in with the referee. I'll just run through it and pick out a few here. Original players for St Jude's over the last 9 years. We started the foundation of the club. Would be number 5, Sean Bradley. Number 13, Kieran Doyle, also the county chairman at the same time. And Gerard Mullen, long-serving player as well. And probably one to watch and pick out would be Sean McCullough, who's currently the captain of the county panel as well from Gloucestershire. But yeah, we'll probably touch base on the players as we go through, as both teams are lining out now ahead of the throw-in, with the referee Eamon Dolan just doing the last bits and pieces of paperwork with the management on the sideline here as well. Just a word on the ref. So Eamon's joining us from Sean Max in Birmingham from Warwickshire. He's coming down to referee the final. As I say, he gives me a bit of a rest. And yeah, a very competent referee. Probably never got a Warwickshire county final in his time served because of the success, I would say, of Sean Max, who, just of note, last weekend was beat by Roger Casements in their county final. So the first time Roger Casements in a long number of years won the Warwickshire county final. So we'll just line out, and I'll just get the last bits and pieces ready. If we hand back to Richard here.
Yeah, cheers to that, Kevin. So we have St Nick's lining out in black and yellow today. They will be shooting from right to left as you look, and then we have Bournemouth in the white and blue jerseys, obviously shooting from left to right. Absolutely perfect day here for Gaelic football in Oxford. No breeze to speak of, about 17 degrees, and you couldn't ask for more on the 4th Sunday of September. Yeah, sure, it might not be Croke Park, but this means as much to these players today as it does to anyone that lines out in Croke Park on All-Ireland final day. We appear to have lost the referee.
Yeah, so sorry about that. A few final bits and pieces just to do, a few county board officials for myself to do. But as I say, our players are all lined out now. Eamon is checking the watch here, setting it up ready to go. And yeah, we're looking out for it. We'll try and notice a few, as I say, changes maybe with personnel around the team. I'd say the same 15 will be playing, but there'll probably be a few positional changes.
Been here before. Easy money, son. Easy money all day.
In the last two county finals. So yeah, let's hope for a great game of football. And thanks very much for everybody watching. And yeah, we'll hope we'll keep the momentum going.
PC, let him early. Doesn't want to be here.
Ball is in, and St Jude's have won it early with McCullough on it, long ball in, and it's not won by Nigel Farley. Killian Murray has come out and won it and played a nice easy ball to John Polly. The referee is playing an advantage, and we are off here on the Gloucestershire county final.
Yeah, a bit of normal formalities of teams sizing each other up and positional changes in the first few minutes of the game. But yeah, so Knicks have had it turned over here, so out comes Sean Bradley with the ball. Sean's going to play it out the corner to Gerard. To be taken. This played to Sean Bradley. And so Judes are going to build an attack from here. Sean's on a run and playing it through to Tristan Lamb. Tristan's playing it across. Defence from Nix is back in place. And yeah, we're just going to have a build-up of play across here. And we're going to have a shot. It's as well blocked down.
That's a great block down, yeah, by Oliver Hughes there. And another free there for Judes. I'm not going to be biased today, but I think that's been a couple of soft ones early on for them. Maybe, hopefully it's not a sign of things to come.
Richard is, for those on viewers maybe don't notice, Richard is the next man. He's sitting with the colours on beside me. I'm going to be the neutral here and the camp, as you'll probably see through the course of the game. So we're going to have a free from distance here for St Jude's. And man stepping up to hit the ball, and
it's a beautiful kick straight over the top bar.
First score of the game is for Niall Gallagher. It's 2 minutes in on the clock, and it's 1-0 to St Jude's.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that point there. And here's the first kick out of the game. I think the kick out is going to be huge in this game today. Whoever wins that battle is really going to have a huge foothold in the game. And St Jude's have won the first one and let it into the half-forward line. Gav Dungan marking their number 14 very tight, and another free there for St Jude's. So we have St Jude's number 11 as well lining up to take this again. Played it short. My co-commentator has deserted me. He's moving the crowd along. And another point for St Jude's. That's 2 points to St Jude's. No score to St Nick's. St Jude's have settled into this. It's a problem that Nick's knew they might have. They start a game slowly, but hopefully they can warm up now fairly lively.
Sorry, it's off doing a few other few activities there. So yeah, that's 2-0 now to St Jude's. In some respects, mirroring almost the start of the game last year when St Jude's would have taken an early lead, and then St Nick's sort of eased it back into the game. Last year, I think we went the whole way through, almost to about 20 minutes. It was level 5 each, and as I said, it was a kick of a ball the whole way through.
So I think he could have had the free early on there for a hand around the head, but Peter Cafferty's won that free after a great ball in by Sean McCarthy, and St Nick's have their first chance to get on the scoreboard here. Matty Mannion about to take this free. He'll take it off the right. He's about 35 yards out from goal, and hopefully this will get St Nick's off the mark.
You can probably hear a bit of a wind on the desk here that we have. It's not actually too heavy, as you can see, still trees behind the goal mouth, but there is a wee bit of a small wind just blowing across the pitch in the direction of where Matthew was taking it from. It was falling short and the keepers came out, and it's now Jude building from the back. Jared O'Mullen again playing it across, a bit risky playing it across the crowded area, but they've worked their way out here through Sean McCullough. Sean McCullough's obviously turned, come through the second player. Sean McCullough's got a bit of pace to burn here, taking it forward, and that will be a great long range score from Sean McCullough, as I say, the county captain, and certainly leading by example there for St Jude's.
Yeah, fantastic score. Turned on the afterburners, beat a couple of men outside of the boot and over the bar. Like you said earlier on, Kevin, he's going to be a big player for St Jude's today, and we'll see if St Nick's can keep him relatively quiet. So another kick out one for St Nick's. It's Sean McCarthy on the wing, has played it into Jason Cott. We're working it down the right wing, short passing, and it's now Ivan Delaney on the ball. He's played it back to Conor McGuicken, and St Nick's are looking to build from the middle. They're keeping the ball, and it's now with John Polly.
So the referee's indicated a free in to John Polly. I think it was just for a tackle here as the playback, as we can see on the screen, which is going to be a new issue for me to look at. So John Polly's played the ball. I think the players then met him almost like a third man tackle.
He's changed it to a throw in though. I think there was some back chat from the St Nick's players. They'll want to watch for that. This ref is not going to take any of that today, which is good to see. And Jude's now back on the counter attack. In fairness, I did think it was a soft enough free that he gave to Nick a second ago, so the throw ball may be fair.
So Jude's again, centre half forward, number 11, Tristan Lamb. Tristan has scored, and that's the 4th point of the game. So a good score, and certainly Jude's, or I'm going to say punishing a little bit of the mistakes, if you consider Matthew's free kick dropped short to the goalkeeper's hands, and Jude's got it forward for Sean McCullough to kick the third point of the game. And if you consider that throw in from the referee, it's worked its way down the left hand side and across for Tristan to kick the 4th point of the game. So we just have a stoppage here with the next player that's just getting some treatment towards the goal mouth area.
Yeah, it looks like Gav Dungan is having some problem there with his leg, and like you say, that's a 2-point swing around there. St Nick's had the free, about 45-50 minutes out.
It's just a copy of the score, but of something happening off the ball with the last player going out through, but Tristan was able to evade a couple of tackles and kicked a good point over the bar.
Yeah, he sold a lovely dummy there to buy himself some space, and then a nice easy pop over the bar. So 4 points to nil here, about just under 7 minutes played so far in this first half, and yeah, Judes have definitely settled into this, the better of the two teams. but a long way to go.
Yeah, I suppose it's probably, Richard, would you say St Nick's, even if I think back to the semi-final a few weeks ago, Cardiff, St Columkills started the first half very well, and even were ahead and were with the players until probably 45 minutes when St Nick's pulled away. So in some respects, for viewers maybe seeing St Nick's for the first time, maybe they are a bit of a slow starter and a bit of a second half specialist maybe. What would you say to that, Richard?
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that, Kevin. You saw that game against Cardiff, and Cardiff definitely started that game the better of the two. It took St Nick's a long time to go ahead in that game, and it was only in the last 10-15 minutes they really pulled ahead, and the scoreline probably flattered them in the end, and Cardiff were definitely closer to them than the final scoreline suggested. I think it might have been even Cardiff might have been a point or two up at half time in that game. So it's St Nick's know it's a problem they've had, and it seems to be rearing its head again today. But we've still got over 50 minutes left to play. We have won our kickouts, which is something that St Nick's have been focusing on, and it looks like we have a player going off there on this line. Gav Dungan is being substituted, is he?
He is, yeah. He seems to have went over. He went down a couple of minutes ago in the goalmouth area. Obviously the treatment hasn't helped, or hasn't had the changeover, so yeah, the first sub of the day is on. Yeah,
and it's Pat Flynn, Waterford man, coming on for St Nick's. That is a huge loss for St Nick's. Gav is a leader on this team. He's been captain in the previous years. He keeps the club moving. To lose him so early in a county final is very demoralising, as is that point going over the bar. Again, a bit of an outside of the boot kick there. A few lovely scores from St Jude's nice and early.
Yes, Tristan Lamb again, so that's 2 in the last 2-3 minutes for Tristan. So we're now in the 9th minute of the game. As I say, there's probably a bit here now of a key 5-10 minutes coming up here for St Nick's. Ball's played out here.
Connolly has clipped it out to the left wing, and we've got Brendan Byrne on the ball. Brendan plays a hand pass down the line to Matty Mannion. Matty slows it down a bit. He tries to beat his man. He gives it back to Brendan. St Nick's recycling the ball, coming back, and I think this is a good move from St Nick's. Get a bit of possession, slow the game down, and stop the momentum from St Brendan's. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I would also say, as Judes have just broken the ball, obviously great tackle through the hands, and the referee's given the free kick in. Yeah, I think from the kick out, well won by Brandon, playing forward to Matthew. I think a few of the key St Nick's players just need to maybe get their hands on the ball, as you said, and start to maybe get a couple of scores here to get things settled, because as St Jude's are chipping away at the points here. Obviously we had a similar score in this region to kick the game off in the 2nd minute, and we're back almost like a replay. It's like a carbon copy. Long range free kick here, and of which they are going to kick the ball, and it's
dropping in around the house,
falling into the square.
Connolly has caught it, and I think he's dropped it into the goal. I think the umpire is giving a goal.
It is, yes.
Connolly doesn't seem to disagree, and I can't say I saw it from here.
Yeah, no, I didn't. A particular angle, but that would be his own clubman, and in fact his own father, the referee. So I think that's going to be where he's given it. It's going to go the whole way, I think.
I have to say, looking at the replay here, Connolly did not look like he dropped that too far behind himself. He's had the hands originally. Again, I may be biased, but if you saw it on the replay there on YouTube, maybe you can let us know what your thoughts were on that, because it looked like he patted it upwards more than backwards, and then recovered it pretty well. But the umpire is closer to it than me, so I'll have to take their word for it. And the score is now 1-5 to no score, 10 minutes in.
Yeah, and it's now, as I said, a key period for St Nick's. They just need to get their hands on the ball in some respects, because St Jude's are well versed at holding on to possession. As we see here, the ball down the right wing by Sean Bradley. Sean's going to take it in to tackle by John Polly, but Sean's carried on into the ball and parried it through, and another shot fallen short, but the keeper has actually flicked it over the bar. So good save by the keeper, but yeah, that's unfortunately another score there for St Jude's. So we're now on to the 1-6 to no score. So yeah, a bit of a tide is turning here in summer, or that's just continuing on towards the St Nick's goal. St Jude's starting the game very well, and now again a fantastic placed kick out to win possession. This is where Nick's is really key to get holding this possession and start to work it on the score. St Jude's have tackled here, but yeah, the referee's given a free kick out to St Nick's.
Yeah, Mark Duffy won the free there. I thought he got a bit lucky. I thought he might have overcarried the ball a bit before getting the free, but we won't complain. And now we have Jason Cott on the ball. Jason, a former Bournemouth player, like we say, has played a lovely ball into Ivan Delaney there, Offaly man, who has just kicked it straight back to St Jude's to build again from the back. So St Jude's number 12 on the ball, working it up nice and slowly here.
They're playing a high ball in here into the full back and full forward area, but it's been mopped up by St Nick's, and they're going to build here. They're going to build down this layer left hand wing and start to build in it. So for really St Nick's need to keep a bit of possession going up in this final third, but it's been turned over here again. It's great work by St Jude's, and again it's a free kick out here. Eamon has signalled and they've played it quickly, and away it is to the corner forward running through. Played it back to the midfielder coming running through outside of the right, going across the goal, won by Kieran Doyle and fired to the net.
And that is a goal from St Jude's. Direct football. They won a free kick, took it in quickly, 2 quick passes, and 2-6-2-13.
The replay here, Kieran Doyle, I'm going to say club and county chairman and full forward for St Jude's. Obviously that's the impact of a great accurate kick pass in, one cleanly turned then and into the net. So it's just going to be a free kick here given for just Kieran Doyle again, out with the tussle here in midfield. So Eamon has obviously blown the free. Kieran's go down for some treatment, and he's called one of the St Jude's or St Nick's players over here to have a word with, I think it's number 12, Sean McCarthy.
That's the one indeed. I think they both had their hands on the ball there. A bit of a tussle over it. The St Jude's lads probably had his hand on the ball a little bit stronger, and he was just pulled to ground. It's a free. I don't think anything more in that there.
Yeah, I think the referee agrees that there's no cards or anything there, but as you can see, Kieran Doyle limped away but has actually went down. So Kieran has a bit of a history. I think it's the same ankle where he maybe has tore his Achilles tendon over a year ago. He's done a lot of recovery in that to get back. Obviously a bit disappointing 30 seconds in after almost kicking that second goal for St Jude's, but let's see how this progresses.
Something you never like to see. It's a very, very hard surface here today, which wouldn't help an injury like that, so hopefully he'll be able to continue there. And a bit of a break in play here. Maybe St Nick's can regroup, have a chat and try something different here.
Yeah, we also have a St Nick's, the goalkeeper is down as well, so he's in getting treatment in the goal mouth there, as you can probably see. So there's a bit of stoppage in play. So let me just maybe update a little bit of how these two teams got here today. Obviously we mentioned St Nick's playing Cardiff and Colmkills in the semi-final. Gloucestershire having the 6 teams playing senior football. We had 2 quarter-finals earlier in the year, of which St Colmkills beat Western Gales, and Pride of Erin beat Brighton and Crawley Gales in the 2 quarter-finals. That set up the 2 semi-finals then played about 2 weeks ago, which was St Nick's in that second half overtaking St Cardiff and Colmkills, and St Jude's won comprehensively against the Pride of Erin club in their other semi-final. So we're ready to go here after that breakage in play. And we started with Jude's, obviously building down the left hand side, crisp clean passes here that's making it for men moving into space, the retention of the ball here, and really St Nick's need to get their hands on it here to make a sort of impact in the play. It's played across and that's it gone wide. What do we think, Richard, from a St Nick's perspective? Obviously you're getting a little bit agitated, you've got off your seat, you've decided your natural position is to stand here, probably itching to get out onto the pitch yourself.
Well, I think it's a big loss for me not playing today. 1-6 in the county semi-final. I did not score. But St Nick's, we've done what we wanted to do a little bit, and that's going to sound a bit confusing and a bit strange in that we have won the vast majority of our kickouts, which is something we focused on. But when we get the ball, it doesn't seem to be going into the full forward line too quickly, or when it does go in there, it's not being used again.
There's a bit more bad news here at the minute as well, as the referee has signalled a penalty here. Obviously the player going through was then penalised through the eyes of the referee, and he's setting the ball down now on the penalty spot here in Oxford.
It was a clear push in the back. You can't argue with that. So hopefully Connolly can save this and might turn things around, might raise the levels for St Nick's a bit. Bit of pushing and shoving between Mark Duffy and his opposite number on Bournemouth. A little getting to know you, which is a bit strange 16 minutes into a game.
Yeah, and we're going to watch the penalty taken live, and it's went for a 4. I'm not sure how we've signalled a 45 here. I didn't think the keeper got a touch on it.
I don't think the keeper got a touch on it. Even the Bournemouth umpire on the far side.
We're just watching a foul here on the penalty. Player going through, obviously has been tackled from behind, which isn't allowed in the course of playing the ball. So that was a replay of the penalty, and we're going to watch the penalty here. Just if you, Richard, if you just keep an eye maybe on the game itself, but it's going to go for the 45. So it is a fantastic save by the keeper.
Yeah, fair play. Unbelievable save by Connolly. If you get a touch, just surprised the Bournemouth umpire waved it wide, and the umpire that gave the goal gave it a 45. But it did look like Connolly got a touch and an unbelievable save. Hopefully that can turn things around a little bit for St. Nick's, G them up a bit.
I'd like to think that could be the spark, but first they've got to deal with this 45 from Sean McCullough. Sean has kicked it and it's went wide to the left.
He's unlucky there. Nice clean strike, just pulled across a bit to the left. So we're 2-6 to no score here, 18 minutes in. And Nick's up against it here. St. Jude's in control. I don't think St. Nick's, I think they've had one shot at goal, which was that Matthew Mannion dropped free kick into the keeper's hand. Speaking of Matty, he's on the ball now. He's breaking down the right wing. He's soloed it and now giving away a free, I would say.
Yeah, it's a free kick. Matthew sort of just let the ball pop away from a solo, or I think it was maybe a hand in, but it certainly St. Jude's have turned it over. And again, if you think if they're standing around the 45-metre line, there's, as you mentioned, Richard, one shot on target falling short to the keeper's hands. They've only really been inside the St. Jude's 45 maybe 4 or 5 occasions so far in this half, but they've turned the ball over, have they? No. He broke it from the tackle. It's Pádraig Comerford's coming out again. He's lost it. Brendan's on the ball.
Yeah, it's a great tackle there from Peter Cafferty. Ivan Delaney's looking for a quick ball in. It's not going to come. But Matty does play it short to Jason Cott. He let St. Jude's play a quick free kick. He stopped St. Nick's playing a free kick. What's your thoughts on that, Kevin?
Well, he has, but he did have, in fairness to the referee, we've got to work at this across the association, but there's a player, I think that's the short free kick taken, but the referee has called it back as he was in the middle of communicating to St. Jude's player. I think Pádraig Comerford referenced it, so the referee, as it is his discretion, has called it back for that reason. So Matthew has...
Yeah, that's much better from Matthew, more what you'd expect from him, straight over the bar. And now St. Nick's need to really concentrate on winning this kick out. So punishing that, a couple of lovely tackles from St. Nick's to knock the ball loose from St. Jude's. Need a lot more of that in the next 10-15 minutes before half time.
Yeah, great. Matthew would still be one of the top scorers for St. Nick's throughout the years and down through the last few years after joining the club. So they've been able to win this kick out straight away from Jude's. And it's Brandon's on the ball, is it? He's got some possession. Brendan
into Jason. And like you say, Matthew is one of our top scorers.
Free in the middle, if they can find it. They found him.
And it's going to be a penalty, I think.
It's a penalty again. So it's a game of both penalty boxes have been served. Any of the bookies' favourites we're going to speculate and get 2 penalties. That would have been a great odds for that. Well, let's see if we can get 2 penalties maybe saved or missed. So we've had one for anybody joining in. St. Jude's have already had a penalty, fantastically saved, and then I think the 45 was also missed from there. So now we have
Jason Cott is going to stand up to take this. It was a lovely ball into the forward there, and the defender just comes through the back of him. It was a penalty and a good decision by the ref. You can't argue either. The penalties were both in the back.
It definitely was. He had found and ghosted into a bit of space, but there you are. The penalty's been taken and down the left hand side. So wow, within a minute we've had a goal and a point for St. Nick's.
Yeah, and is it going to be the same old story? Is it going to be St. Nick's? They've only started this final 18 minutes into it, got a goal and a point in the last minute.
You can see a replay here, Richard, just as we're looking on 15's free in the middle, pins possession of the ball but is immediately hit, and a very, very clear and obvious penalty that the referee's given, of which we can see a replay of the penalty here as the game is going on in front of us. There's a penalty being taken.
He's given over carrying there for St. Jude's. He tried to take the ball into the tackle, and now Brendan has played it quick over to Peter. I'm not sure Peter has touched the ball today, and he'd be disappointed in that. He's a big man for St. Nick's, and he'd be expecting to get a few points today. He's played a hand pass over to Joey Murphy. Again, Joey's been quiet in this game so far. It's back to Peter. He's taken on his man. He's beaten him. He's given a lovely pass in, and St. Nick's have a chance here. Is it given another penalty, or is it a free? I think it's just a free this time, bit outside the large parallelogram, but we might be able to see it on a replay. I think it is just a free.
Yeah, well, the referee's definitely, replay's coming in. So yeah, running through, takes possession, plays it through, and yes, tackled while again in the process of kicking the ball, but must have been outside the small square. So free kick to Matthew. Matthew has kicked it over the bar. So again, I probably called this at the start of the game. It's following the course of previous games where St Jude's have had a start, and look at that, back with St Nick's within a 2.5-3 minute spell. Matthew Minion has drawn them onto 1-2 against St Jude's 2-6.
Yeah, you called it exactly as it was about to happen, Kevin, and I'm just not sure you can give away a 12-point lead in a county final and hope to come back, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, as we can see, referees blowing the whistle, clearly touching the ball on the ground as we've seen. And then if you think back, and we're going to follow the ball down the left hand side of the pitch. They've played it in. Kieran Doyle has remained, but as you can see, he's hobbling there after that possession. I don't think Kieran will be lasting much more of this game, in fairness.
No, unfortunately, it looks like his Achilles has gone there again as Peter Cafferkey is on the ball. Almost looked like Peter pulled up a little bit there. He has had a bad back, looked like he held that as he caught the ball, but he's continuing on. And the ball is now with Conor McGuicken, who gives it to Sean McCarthy. Sean bounces it, he plays a ball over the top to Matty Mannion.
Oh, a good fight for possession there, but what we're going to have, the referee's running in to decide and make his decision.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Kevin. It was a good fight for possession. The St Nick's man got up a bit higher, and it was just an awkward landing, I think. And he is down, hopefully he's okay. It's number 7 for St Nick's, who is Oliver Hughes, I think.
Yeah. So, we're getting a player treated. Obviously at the moment, if you think back, that goal by Kieran Doyle and that penalty certainly had an impact in this game. Kieran Doyle's goal, subsequent injury, which would have been that 30 or so seconds afterwards, we've had the missed penalty, and then from that we've had 1-2 without reply for St Nick's. So we're going to get the game going here again.
Yeah, game got going with a St Jude's free, which surprised me. I thought maybe it might have been a throw ball. The goalkeeper now has it. He's played it out to his corner back, who's taken on his man. He's bounced it, he's lost it, and Peter Cafferkey has won it. He's passed it on to Mark Duffy. Duffy onto his right foot. Duffy kicks a lovely score at times, but not this time. He's just sent it wide to the right. St Nick's definitely got into this, and like you say, Kieran Doyle, if he has to go off, it's going to be a huge loss for St Jude's. He's already made a massive difference in this game, scoring that goal, and being the main focal point really for St Jude's, especially with Brendan, their talisman from last year, not playing as well.
Yeah, we're actually sitting with the St Jude's subs closest to it. There doesn't seem to be a lot of movement in that respect, and I suppose with 5 minutes to the half they're maybe going to let it sit. But here's the kick out, and it's broken into the middle of the field, and it's stopped here just with a free kick. That's what we've had for St Jude's. So who's going to take this free kick? I thought Tristan Lamb was coming over to take it, but they've actually played it across the pitch. Now he's going to work forward. They've played it back to the guy who's had the kick, and the St Jude's are starting to build a little bit of pressure here. Nicks have fallen back into a defensive formation, you could say, but St Jude's are able to work it down the left hand side. It's going through and it's broken through to the middle. From there, it's a fine score off the left foot for St Nick's, which is or St Jude's, sorry, which has made it now 2-7 to 1-2.
Yeah, like you said there, Kevin, St Nick's seemed to fall into a very, very defensive formation. Then it looked like 13 men behind the ball, and St Jude still managed to get a score. So I wonder if that's something we're going to see again in the game. Is it St Nick's trying to answer what Bournemouth have done so far and the scores they have kicked? But here we have Nigel Farley building up the right wing. Has played a pass to Matty Mannion. Matty's looking for the quick one into Jason Cott. He's played it low. It's a lovely ball for a full forward. Can he beat his man? He goes around the outside and he's taken a shot from there. Oh, he's very unlucky. It's hit the left upright. That would have been a wonderful, wonderful score to fit any county final. Unfortunately for St Nick's, it's bounced back out and Jude's now win possession.
Yep, and it's down this wing. It looks like Sean McCarthy got his hand in, but out the ball went. So the Judes have had the sideline, and they're playing it up here to Tristan Lamb on the near touchline just in front of us where we're sitting. They've broke it back again, so there's a bit of challenges going through here, but Tristan has played it on. The advantage has been played by the referee, and it's broken on through. Just went through to number 10, who's coming through, jumped inside a tackle and went to... Oh, they got a flick on it off the keeper and behind for the 45.
The 45, is that Jude's getting a little bit greedy. He had a nice easy point there, he beat his man. He went for the juggernaut, he went for the goal, which is what St Jude's did in that league final, the second leg of the league final, to beat St Nick's, and by the end they beat him out the gate, to be fair. It was level at half time, and then St Jude's pulled away with a number of goals. Maybe that's part of their tactic again today, but I would have wanted my player to pop the ball just over the bar there, nice and handy.
Yeah, when you consider they've had the one score back after the let's call it the purple patch from St Nick's, they could have got that second one, but they were going for probably goals win games, as they say. But they've went with the 45, and Sean McCullough has now kicked it, and it's went straight over the bar. So Sean McCullough has added to his scores for today.
Yeah, straight over the bar. Could have gone over another 10 yards, I'd say. Yeah, great athlete, Sean, and yeah, he's dominating there in the middle of the field at the moment.
So short kick out taken here by St Nick's, wanting to keep possession and build, and really let's see what they can do for the last couple of minutes of the half. But it's been broken and changed by St Jude's. St Jude's are running through, well tackled back, and across comes John Polly.
Yeah, it's a brilliant tackle there by Pat Flynn, the Waterford man who's come on to replace Gav Dungan. Again, Gav went off, looked like a calf injury possibly for Gav. Big loss about 10 minutes into the game. We have a free here for St Nick's on the right wing. The referee is talking to St Jude's number 6. I think this could be our first card of the day.
It could be. It's probably just for one or two different fouls coming from the back, from behind. But Eamon is taking the man's name, and we'll see what sort of card he produces here. And it's
Carter Bui there, yellow card for St Jude's, first booking of the day. And the ref hasn't issued too many cards, not been too many frees really. Jude's are punished with their ones, but in I suppose the 20, 28 minutes, 29 minutes, not really a whole lot.
Ball played forward, sort of without any runners. It's just got to play, and it's broken down. St Jude's coming forward again.
Yeah, that was
there's a shrill of the whistle as the referee has pulled for a free, and St Jude's have taken it down the right hand side here to Tristan Lamb. Tristan again outside of the right, too much spin on it, it's going to drop short, and out comes the keeper. Yeah,
that's well held by Connolly. A very strange free that kicked there on the far side from Brendan Byrne. He just seemed to kick it up in the air to nobody in particular, and Jude's nearly punished, but Connolly came out, won that ball brilliantly. And now we have Mark Duffy on the ball, demanding it from Conor McGuicken, and he's running through. What's his option? He passes it on. It goes one more, and Sean McCarthy has kicked it wide, I think. Yeah, it's a good opportunity, 30 yards in front of goal, the scoring zone, as they would say, and Sean would expect to do better there. He's not normally very, very accurate.
I guess maybe only the second or third wide that Knicks have kicked, maybe. But yeah, as we're approaching into the referee's additional time here, as the 30 minutes are on the clock, we're going to see how this game ends up. Will there be any more scores to the 2-8 to 1-2 that we have? Again, for Knicks, if they've won possession and turned it over, if they could get one more score before the half, that would be a great change. It's broken through, but the keeper has come out.
Keeper's done well there, yeah, he's come out, got rid of the danger.
Yeah, Willie O'Connor, long-serving member with St Jude's, but almost as only his first, maybe or second year in goals, is played outfield normally, and you can see that with the ability to come out and clear his lines. It's a sideline ball to St Nick's. They've played it in. There's a bit of a scramble happening here.
Oh, it's gone across the square. The referee has given a free somewhere, free out, yeah.
Yeah, as I say, if St Nick's could have converted that chance again, as they how they turn over or get the scores. We're in this final. They're in the final third of the game of the pitch. We're just unable really to percentage ways turn them into conversions and into chances.
Yeah,
St Jude's are coming out with the ball now.
Yeah, I'd say we're going to get the half-time whistle fairly soon. We're about 31 and a half minutes into this first half. So 30 minutes aside, and there hasn't been really many stoppages. It was Gav, so maybe a couple of minutes added time there. Haven't seen the fourth official put up his board yet.
That's because we wouldn't have a board here, Richard. We're short on the ground in that respect a little bit, but let's have it. St Jude's are trying to get through here, and they've won a free kick, I believe.
Oh, and Sean McCullough has threw a left hook there at Jason Cott. His ex-teammate Pat Flynn has got involved. There was definitely a punch thrown there from Sean McCullough.
I'll be a little bit impartial at the minute now, Richard.
Yeah, so let's see how it plays out.
It's far side of the pitch from where we're sitting, but as I say, with the teams coming back into it, and both these teams were more familiar with themselves over the last 3 years county finals. There didn't seem to be too much into it through my eyes, but yeah, the referee has it. Yeah, no, just stick with the referee here. Obviously, the referee's in control.
Yeah,
and Eamon will he's well aware of how to manage football matches in Warwickshire, and no doubt he'll be using his expertise here today.
Yeah, he's having a chat with Sean McCullum there, number 8. I saw a left hand being thrown at Jason Cott. It wasn't a whole lot of power in it, in all honesty, but it still it doesn't say in the rule book how much power has to be behind a punch. And at the end, it turned into a bit of a schmozzle, a bit of how are you, nice to meet you, and we'll all go in for half time now, I'd say, in a second.
Yeah, well, I don't think we've got our cup of teas just yet, Richard, but it's 2 yellow cards. 2 yellows for obviously Sean McCullough, who's kicked a couple of points for St Jude's and a couple of 45s I think in it, and Matthew Mannion from one of the Nick's main players.
Was it Matthew that got the yellow? I didn't even think Matthew was too.
It was Matthew for coming in, number 11, and number 8 for Judes, number 11 for St Nick's.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting a replay if we have a replay of the start of that, but we'll continue with play here as St Jude's run through. Brendan Byrne putting in good tackles there, really good work from Brendan to get the ball turned over. And Pat Flynn, he was the first man in after Jason when that kicked off. I thought he might have picked up a yellow card if anyone for St Nick's, but we won't complain that we didn't get one.
Yeah, we're in the 33rd minute here. Sean's played it forward. I'm not sure how long will be to the referee's whistle, but the ball is broken on the ground. Matthews played it on the ground, and comes Sean Bradley to hoover it up. Sean's fighting for possession, and there is the whistle itself.
There's the half-time whistle. We're St Jude's 2-8, St Nick's 1-2. Yeah, it's been pretty much all St Jude's for 70% of that half. St Nick's had their purple patch, got that goal and 2 points. Maybe could have got tacked on another couple, but it's hard to see how St Nick's can get back into this in the second half.
Yeah, so we're going to go to highlights here of the half so far. So this was the first of the scores from Tristan Lamb, and that was the point that we saw earlier on. We're just seeing these ourselves for the first time now that the action on the field has stopped. And this is Sean McCullough running through. I think this is this great score coming from the play at the back where Sean has come in, and outside of the right he's clipped that over the bar, which is a fantastic score and run from defence. Yeah,
that was a brilliant score there from Sean McCullough for starting in his own half-back line, beat 2 men outside of the boot. Yeah,
this is Tristan Lamb, so this would have been the 3rd or 4th point of the game, which would have put St Jude's 4-1 up, or 4-0 up, and then really from a kick out, a turnover going through again. I think this is Tristan Lamb, and again another example of outside of the right, and the turn and curling that to go over the bar.
Yeah, I don't know if St Jude's have picked out that far right corner, if it's the scoring corner, if it's easier to score from, but they seem to kick 4 or 5 points there from that side of the pitch, from the outside of the boot.
That's the replay there for the goal, and as you can see, the umpires clearly demonstrated this falling below or behind the line, and again building on from that, this would have been another point, a great save by the keeper.
Yeah, brilliant save there by Connolly, tracking back, gets up, gets a good strong hand to it, pops it over the bar.
Do you think Judes could have been further ahead? Connolly's, as I say, saved that score. This is the goal for Kieran Doyle, where he comes running out, wins it, turns and drops it into the bottom left hand corner.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be the next highlight we see with this penalty coming on. It's definitely a penalty, no question about it, and Connolly gets a great left hand, I think, to the penalty, puts it around for a 45, and if we look back at this at the end and somehow St Nick's get back into it, that'll be the moment we look at that turned the game around really. St Nick's went up and got the 1-2 after that, after Connolly gets a great hand to this.
Yeah, great to the right, but the keeper has turned it around for a 45, as you can clearly see.
Yeah, it was his right hand, not his left hand, so I'm a bit confused that way.
I think this is the first score though. This is the penalty then going through for St Jude's or St Nick's, and clear penalty and foul in the back while they're receiving the ball on the inside of the large square.
Yeah, this is a well taken penalty, top left corner, give the keeper no chance really.
I think we're going to finish with the last thing. So that was the penalty, almost to bring them back into it. this is then the play going forward of when maybe players come together a little bit in the middle here. So that's where a few...
that's a left punch. I don't care what anyone says. That's a left punch.
Richard.
He pushed him on the ground.
We'll have a bit of a disagreement maybe on the sideline here as well, but as we can see, both players, Sean and Matthew, that the referee's picked out 2 yellow cards, and yes, we're half time here in Oxford, where it's St Nick's of Bristol 1-2 and the reigning county champions St Judes of Bournemouth are currently 2-8. So we'll pause here for a couple of minutes while we get a little bit of refreshment as well, as the teams are huddled getting their half time team talks, and we'll be back with you shortly. Thank you all. Yeah, and we just had the ball thrown up here for the second half. Obviously we've all had our refreshments and team talks with both teams, and the ball has started here with St Jude's getting possession, working across here with a few hand passes, trying to keep it. Obviously we know the score, the 2-8 to 1-2. Normally, I said at the start of the match, there's normally a kick of a ball in it, so let's see if we St Nick's can close this gap. But certainly last year's reigning county champions St Jude's have started this half again strong, running through, and the ball has fallen short into the keeper's hands, and Connolly has kicked the ball out here right through the middle, of which Sean McCullough has won clean in the middle of the field. A great example of high fielding there. Sean's taking the ball down the right hand side, but St Jude's again retaining possession, coming back across the pitch, trying to work another scoring opportunity. The ball's now with Tristan Lamb, plays it back again. It's about a possession football here with St Jude's, trying to work through a score. St Nick's obviously want to prevent that from happening, but we'll bring in Richard here, who was over with St Nick's at half time on the team talk. How was the vibe in the camp at half time, Richard?
I'm sure you can imagine it wasn't overly happy, Kevin. Yeah, St Nick's know what's gone wrong. The energy hasn't been there, the effort hasn't been there from players, and yeah, they know that themselves. They won't mind me saying it on this, and looks like Brendan is trying to inject a bit himself there, the captain of the day. Yeah, that's going to be the main thing. Although he's lost the ball, he's soldiered it, maybe he took an eye off the ball and looked at the tackle coming at him, and yeah, the first 5 minutes in this second half, if St Nick's to maybe get a couple of points and keep St Jude's to nothing, maybe, but yeah, when you're 9 points down in a county final at half time.
Any changes there with St Nick's at the half, was there?
No changes. Same team going out. Doesn't even look like any positional changes really. And so there's Pete Cafferty. He's won a free.
He has.
Soft
he's done
enough.
well. Got inside, but yeah, certainly hands from the St Jude's defenders. So no changes from St Nick's at the half. One change for St Jude's, and that was number 14, Kieran Doyle. We mentioned him a couple of times in the first half. So would have been the goal scorer, but we seen he went down injured, and yes, at the half-time whistle he's been changed, and a change has been made on that behalf. Kieran, current founder of St Jude's many years ago, and current county chairman, former Armagh man.
There's a point for St Nick's. Pete Cafferty with the free on the far wing has knocked it over after winning the free himself, and yeah, that's probably bad news. Well, not probably, it's definitely bad news for St Jude's that Kieran Doyle has had to go off. He's made a huge difference there in the first half. Maybe that might give a bit of a inspiration to St Nick's, but here's a kick out for St Jude's. Can they win this?
Yeah, obviously first score of any half is important, and it's nice to go St Nick's, because if you take now this example, this kick out has went over the sideline just right in front of us here. So if St Nick's can put on the second, but they've given it away straight away. Short kick out taken, won by St Jude's. We're going to work possession back and across to try and get it out, but St Nick's are certainly working here, and it's come out over the sideline.
Brilliant work there from Matty Mannion, who's won that ball back. It was a poor sideline, to be honest. Just gave the ball straight to St Jude's. And a few of the Bournemouth players, Brendy getting involved with their players. The ref should be having a word here, I think. He's not playing, he needs to stay quiet. Matty needs to get on with the game as well.
Yeah, it's just happening here in front of us. Our desk is a little bit just below the screen, so thankfully you can't see us, but yeah, this is just happening here in front of us. Often a problem with sidelines and numbers of people around there, but we've got to let the free kick be taken, or the sideline here be taken by Brandon. But to say, if Nick's can get a second point here, or a second score to close this gap, we're certainly going to be in for a second half to look forward to. So short free sideline taken, one back, and now working across the pitch. Certainly Judes have funneled 13 men behind the ball. They've turned it over here as well, and out they come as well. So it's about work rate and intensity in some respects, and when you'd expect nothing less than county final day. But it's come through to a free kick here to St Jude's.
Yeah, unlucky there, Sean. He got a hand on the ball, but I think his hand just went a little too high on the St Jude's player. Yeah, not a bad start to the second half for St Nick's, but still only 1 point out of the first 5 minutes of it, 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, the referee's just demonstrated that while the tackle went in, it was too high, and it's just it resulted in the yellow card there for Sean McCarthy. So yeah, Jude's tried to play the ball quick, but the referee is taking it back, rightly so. He's in the process of booking Sean, so we just need to start the game here as well. So St Jude's will have the free kick here around their 45 metre line. And let's see what they can do to get further up the pitch. So they've played it over the top, and he's won it going through. So this is Jared O'Mullen. Jared's played it, and he's going to get it. No, he's worked his way to the corner till Jared's run through till Phil O'Connor was the substitute. 24 is Phil O'Connor. He's come on for Kieran Doyle.
Yeah, he's done well there. He's won the ball, won possession for his team, and laid it off to maybe a more dangerous man.
Tristan Ram. He's worked it through to Tristan, who's put it to the roof of the net. And in response to St Nick's first point of the half, St Jude's have went down and scored a goal to make it 3-8. So we'll see the replay here. Jared O'Mullen's obviously working it across on the 21, sees Tristan free, plays it through, and Tristan, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, just fires it to the roof of the net.
Yeah, it's simple football. Play the ball to the better man in a better position, and you get your scores. St Nick's have tried to run it up the field. Matty playing a bit of a loose pass to Mark Duffy, and St Nick's know they're chasing this now. 3-8 to 1-3. Yeah, it's time to get the rosary beads out and start praying, I think, at this stage.
Yeah, let's hope not, and let's see. Certainly with 6 minutes played here in the second half. 3-8 to 1-3. But they've turned it over here straight away, and they've possibly break it down the left. But yeah, it's just that cleanliness of that hand pass, crispness of it. That certainly Judes are able to find their man with these small hand passes and runners. It hasn't really fallen into place for Nick's today, which is certainly a shame for them. Judes have worked it down the right, and the referee is going to blow a whistle for, I don't believe it, a third penalty.
I think you're spot on there, what you said as well, Kevin. It's the crispness of what St Jude's do. Everything they do is just a little bit sharper, a little bit more to the point, and St Nick's are labouring on the ball. Little passes aren't going to hand, and that has been the key difference here, and why one team is 5, 6, 11 points up there. So here we have a third penalty. Hopefully Connolly can pull out some heroics again.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on about the bookies would have been making money on 2 penalties, but we're into our third penalty here of the day. And interesting enough, they're all for fouls, but nothing like a black card, or that's probably pertinent around the GAA. People think of men going through on goals. There's been no need for any of that, as they're just clear fouls in the definition of the rule book. So here we have Jared O'Mullen has put it over the bar.
Yeah, he put it over the bar. I'm not sure he meant to. I think he's got a bit under that more than he wanted. But yeah, it's a point for Jews. They won't complain. It's 3-9 to 1-3.
Yeah. Replay here over the penalty, played through, man running through, as you say, clearly was holding number 5, is clearly holding on as the player running through to win possession, and the referees quite rightly signalled the penalty. The third of the game, second for St Jude's, and St Jude's with I think this is Jared O'Mullen going through, looking for the top right, probably leaning back a wee bit too much, and it's just went over the bar.
Yeah, you think how much they're winning by. They've had 2 penalties and got 1 point out of them. Maybe St Nick's are lucky not to be further behind.
Yeah, for sure. And now Nick's, can they spark something in here through Matty playing it down, looking for, yeah, they have one possession right in front of us here. Matthew probably further out than St Nick's would like him to be, but he's worked the ball through to Brandon. Brandon Byrne is running through, looking across, and St Jude's Sean Bradley's nipped in and won that ball. Yeah, just to turn it over for St Jude's.
Yeah, trying to force it a bit there. The ball was on. It was a difficult ball. Brendan trying to play it across field to Peter. Peter hasn't really got his hands on the ball half as much as St Nick's would have wanted today. And yeah, that's part of the reason why we've only scored 1-3.
And again, it's not as if they didn't and haven't had the chances. I've mentioned it, they just haven't been crisp enough on it, and in some respects they need to keep their heads around them in terms of play your football, take the scores when they're there, and not to have that desperation. Plenty of time on the clock, there's 21 minutes to go plus injury, but certainly would be wanting to get the next 1 or 2 scores, as we see Sean Bradley Sean McCullough coming through, kicking that wide and to the right. Yeah, certainly looking very good for St Jude's here, and on that note, the winners of this county final will be going through to the British Provincial county final, where they will meet the London champions and representatives, which is Wandsworth Gales, who they won their playoff yesterday against the Parnells in London, 113 to 110. But certainly looking forward that it's going to be Judes at this point of the game. as we've had a great save.
Yeah, wonderful save there with Connolly from his right hand, and I think that is a St. Nick's kick out. I thought the St. Jude's lad hit it back again, but and it looks like that's what the umpire agrees with. Wonderful save by Connolly. He's kept us in the game a little bit with 2 fantastic saves, one from the penalty, one there one-on-one. He's picked a couple of high balls out of the air. Very unlucky with the first goal that went in. The umpire adjudged it to have gone over the line, but Connolly has been good today. His kick-outs have gone pretty well as well.
Yeah, he has. I've been in that position before, being a goalkeeper in a county final, having a good game but also conceding a few goals. That'll have the few of the lads smirking and laughing at home, but he's had a good game so far, certainly with a penalty save, with that save as well, and tipping over that point in the first half as well. Certainly he's definitely been there when called for, but he's also had to concede 3 goals as well, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah,
but he's played very well so far.
Yeah, that's it. It's the one position in the field. Yeah, you get no second chances if something goes by you. There's no one behind you in the field to make up for that. I've just noticed a sub as well for St. Nick's on the field. We've got Vinny Malloy gone in there full forward, number 17, and it looks like Conor McGuicken has come off. I think Conor was number 10 today for St. Nick's. Vinny has scored a couple of goals throughout the league and championship for St. Nick's in there, so hopefully he can do that again today.
The referee's given us a shrill of the whistle for Sean Bradley, who was going through there, sort of a couple of men submerging and around him, but he's went to ground. He's won the free that Eamon has refereed and signalled the free, so we're going to have another long range free attempt here from number 12 for St. Jude's. He's kicked a couple of these in the first half from the hands from the free kicks, and
he did everything right. He did it all for the cameras. The lovely run up, the big long strides, swinging the arms around, and then he kicked it to the wide. A bit like myself, a lot of height but not very good.
Yeah, he's kicked it to the left and wide. So Connolly's kicked the ball out here to Sean McCarthy. Quick attempt, but Sean McCullough's broken it down here for St. Jude's. Sean McCullough's running through, as you can see the pace to separate away, but he's played it soccer style across the pitch, coming back out to the corner forward, who's had a shrill of the whistle with a free kick going in. So it's going to be a free kick which is quickly taken here, taken back to Tristan Lamb. Tristan's working it across the middle, and that's an unfortunate giveaway. They've lost possession. Can Nick's build from here? So now they've got a chance, they've got an overlap and they've got an opportunity. And Vinny Malloy, they're trying to play, but the corner back comes out, wins the ball well, and hand pass down the sideline, clear possession, clear space for the wing forward here, going back to the corner back, a nice 1-2, working the angle, and he comes coming inside, our midfielders coming through, and he kicks it, but it's also went wide to the right.
Yeah, it's a poor miss. It's gone a bit fragmented here in the middle of the pitch. Positions don't mean a whole lot, I suppose, in Gaelic football these days, and it seems less and less so now. St. Nick's have 3 players in the whole of the St. Jude's pitch. They're just trying to get their hands on the ball, trying to build something. We've got Mark Duffy, who started at centre half forward. He's there basically in the full back position with that ball. He's played it back to our full back, Nigel Farley.
Yeah, you mentioned the game's just gone a little bit fragmented with shape, and that's a little bit of maybe Nick's wanting to try and force it just with effort as opposed to the skill and discipline of keeping your shape and working on what you're working on in training. But Judes are certainly standing back off, working the angles, working the possession through Sean McCullough here, and he's passed it back.
That's brilliant work by Peter Cafferty, but Sean has kept his hands on the ball somehow. Like I said in the first half, he's very strong, very fit, and he keeps this St. Jude's team ticking along.
Yeah, working it down the left here, and again they've had another shot, but Sean McCullough's done well, winning that high above his head, and he's coming out with it, and he's still working it with a few turnovers, or certainly tackles for St. Jude's, but the Knicks have worked the ball out here, and again Matthew Mann, he's inside his own 45, he's full forward. Not really where Knicks want him to be, but he's had to drop down this distance to get on the ball, as you can see the footballer that he is. But again, it's just a little bit scrappy in here at the minute. It's not really as clean, and certainly they want to get Matthew and other forwards further up the pitch. So Knicks only have the one player inside the 45 as they're working it down the left hand side here.
Yeah, that's it. You had Jason on the left wing there. He was looking for a pass, and Jason's going to try to do this all on his own. This is Messi-esque, and he's put it over the bar. There was no real options for him inside. He had Vinny inside, but apart from that, Jason had to do that all on his own, and he did. He jinked by a couple of men and popped it over the bar. Perhaps he was going for goal and trying to just lift it over the keeper, but went about a couple of feet over.
Yeah, so we're 15 minutes in. Half time was 2-8 to 1-3. We thought probably next with that first score of the half we're going to have a sign of a bit of a purple patch if they could come back into it, have another scoring burst like the 1-2 they had in the first half. But it hasn't been, with St Jude's obviously kicking on to those goal and a point. But certainly that's nice for St Nick's to break it back, and a great score down the left by Jason Cott. But Judes have worked it down the right hand side, as we can see. And across the middle there's a man free in the midfield. They've picked him out, he's running through, and again finished to the net by number 12 for St Jude's. Again, I suppose if you're watching this as a young child, it's all about finding the man in possession, even using the foot pass in such a space. But certainly from next, they'll be disappointed to have left a man 15-20 yards behind maybe the last man in defence, and unfortunately the young keeper has had no chance or no opportunity with that as well.
Yeah, to be fair, he had so much space. I had to count how many players Judes had on the field. I don't know where his marker was gone, I don't know who was meant to be there, and it's just gone a bit disjointed now, 15 minutes into the second half, and somehow I thought that had gone into the bottom corner. Like you say about the young kids watching at home, it's great to have this and be able to share it with you all at home watching this, thanks to 24/7 TV, and thanks again to the county board as well for sorting this out. Hopefully it's showcasing that when lads play football over here in England, it is actually played to a serious level, that there are good footballers here, it's not a joke, and it's great to be able to share the GAA around the world. It is a part of who we are.
Yeah, certainly so. So there's ended up with a goal kick here, and they've worked possession out, taken the mark here. That's the first mark of the day, believe it or not, in the 47th minute, and it wasn't even taken by a midfielder. But Knicks have taken it down the right. Matthew has worked his way through,
and it's a goal chance here for Pete. He's rifled it to the net. Finally a bit of joy for St Nick's. It's 2-6 to 4. No, it's not. It's 2-3 to 4-9 now, and 13 minutes left. Is it too little, too late?
Yeah, Matthews won it. Obviously played it to an unmarked man, and as you can see, the last two examples of those two goals for everyone watching is when you leave a man in behind, it's about a little bit about getting them the ball, but then when they're through 1-on-1 on keeper, keeper's got very little really percentage skills and chance in that respect when a man's coming running through, just to rifle it through to the net.
Yeah, that's it. Keeper has no chance there whatsoever. It's a line ball to St Jude's.
Yeah, which is the right call. Yeah. It's right in front of us here at the desk.
Yeah, just tipped Ivan on the hand as he tried to win possession.
Got to stay behind the line here. If management team will get out of the way. It's right in front of us. And they've played it through to Sean McCullough. Sean's always available. Pass back to his midfield partner, who's running right in front of us. And down the right hand side, Judes are going to build. Again, looking for another score. But
good tackling again there by Pete. Yeah, he's won a couple of possessions here, even though he is meant to be corner forward. He's working all the way back. Maybe a little lucky not to give away a free there for a boot in as the man was rising.
Yep, and it's broken through the middle. Nigel is trying to have a save, but 12 is working it through. It's Sean Bradley, but the referee has brought it back. So free, you'll see here, shrill of the whistle from the referee is bringing it back, as he was playing advantage for St Jude's. So it's going to be a free kick for St Jude's. I'm going to say probably 30 metres out, maybe just on the edge of the D. You can see where the referee standing. It's going to be a free kick, and it'll probably fall to number 12 again, who's had great success so far. Maybe missed the last one, but certainly on the scores of the day, getting the last goal for St Jude's. Free kicks in the first half as well. He's now lining up to take another one here off the right foot, and it is going to
wide and right,
fall to the right. It's overcorrection from the last free he had, which went over to the left.
Exactly. He kicked some lovely ones in the first half there, so he knows he's well able to do it. He'll be disappointed in himself that has not gone over.
Yeah, so listen, with a game with many goals so far, they've had a turnover here, Judes, from the kick out. They've worked it into the corner, and they've had another shot at target, another wide. Certainly if Judes are to progress from this, they want to turn over the misconversion chances that they've had. They've had quite a number of wides in the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. It'll probably be will be a step up in level, I'd say, when they play the London champions, and they won't get away with misses like that. And probably shot selection there, they'll have to question, is that where he's going to score most of his points from out there on the right, off his right foot. But that's
here's the rule of Gaelic football, quite rightly blown by Eamon. The kick out has went out and the player has inadvertently passed it back towards the keeper. Obviously can't be done now. A rule change of I think it maybe was 2 years ago. So obviously now it's a free kick where the goalkeeper has then retained possession. So maybe a bit of a mistake by the next player passing it back to the keeper. So sorry, my recollection is it's going to be a hop ball. That's what the rule says. It's a hop ball from where the keeper picked it up. So Judes have flicked it from the hop ball and it's worked out. Nigel Farley's going for it.
Yes, kick out for St. Nick's, that's it, goal kick.
Yeah, he's seen it the whole way over the end line. So back to where we were maybe 40 seconds ago, 50 seconds ago, when the keeper has an opportunity now of kicking the ball out.
So Matty Mannion's looking for it on the far wing. He's not going to get it though. Connolly has slowed it down a little, or maybe he is going to get it.
Yeah, bit of a kick out, longer kick out now to Matthew, but again Matthew standing static, waiting to see what options will run in front.
Brilliant ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah. Did he lead with the elbow? If we can see a replay on that, I think it's a fair enough hit. I don't think there's much in it. It's a free kick. Free kick.
When a man's going for a ball and his hands are above his head. Replay's coming in at your request, Richard. So the ball's popped away. Two men maybe colliding as they're going for possession of the ball. Unfortunately, Jason's just come off a little bit the worst.
It's a nice flick on by Vinny for Joey Murphy, and Joey has had a quiet day and he'll admit that himself. Hopefully it isn't a version of Samson. Joey used to have lovely long hair. He chopped it off a couple of weeks ago. I hope he didn't lose his power with that.
Yeah, you can see Jason's still down in the middle, but obviously Nick's took the play on and elected to play on, but was turned over by Judes, who are now building forward with this score. Running through again, and we have hand pass into Tristan Lamb in the middle, just inviting the pressure and inviting the tackles in, or Judes, as they're just trying to work their way around St. Nick's.
And Mark Duffy's read that.
Yeah, he's read that very well. But
yeah, it's a free kick there.
Free kick, yep. Rightly so.
Can Nick's work the ball up the field? Is it Ivan recovered here? I think he was down in the middle.
Yeah, again.
Brilliant work from Jason.
Yeah, Jason's done well finding Matthew. Matthew will be wanting to do one thing with this only, and that's to get a score at the end of the day. He's
beaten his man, he's been dragged back. It's going to be a free, cynical foul, but if it was on your own team, you'd be happy enough with it. You're not giving that him through in goal, not giving away a penalty. Yeah,
certainly so. But yeah, coming into the last 8 minutes here with maybe what additional time the referee has, is it a case of too little too late? Certainly with that difference in the scoreline, it certainly looks that way, but Matthew will always try to the final whistle, and as he was trying to break through in goal, he was fouled, and he's going to elect to take the free kick himself here. So Matthew coming off the right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was really trying there. I think he might have nearly been going for goal with the amount of power he put in that, which is very optimistic when you have 10 men stood in front of you, and that's the sign of the desperation I think that is coming from the St. Nick's squad right now.
Yeah, also a bit of that little 5% that's left of accuracy, of hand passes, of kicks, free kicks, etc. Matthew he won't need us to tell him, he'll be disappointed himself, but that's the difference, is that last few percent, and accuracy, which has really maybe been Nick's downfall today, and certainly helped St. Jude's to be the position that they're in today, and maybe even over the last couple of years.
He did really well there, Pat Flynn. He beat 3 men and just tried a little too hard to play the pass. He probably could have took it on a little bit more after beating the first 3. He won the ball well and then just gave away possession, and Judes are just going to keep this ball now and play it across the field.
Yeah, you can hear the management sideline of keep it through the hands, so it's a possession game. With 6 minutes to go, there's nothing they need to do to really put themselves off course for winning today and progressing through to the British Provincial. They've played the ball forward to Tristan Lamb. Tristan is off the crossbar, believe it or not. Yep, off the crossbar.
I think he tried to claim it went in, but I don't think it did. Crossbar, and very unlucky, or very lucky for St. Nick's, depending on which side you look at it. Fielded the ball brilliantly, and there is the 5th goal for St Jude's.
Yeah, very 5th goal. Very disappointing, but also in some respects we see a replay of this. This is literally of the goal. We can see a couple of men maybe down with the previous phases of play, but he's come in off his left foot.
Fantastic finish there, left foot,
top right
corner.
Again, no chance really for the keeper at all. There's going to be a bit of a break in play here, as you see. A couple of players down, one with cramp from St Nick's, and the other one then is St Jude's. In fact, there's another St Jude's, our next player down at the goalkeeper, not the goalkeeper, another player's down right on the end.
Killian Murray, cornerback, has been struggling with injuries recently enough, and it looks like there's a problem around the ankle/foot area. Number 13 for Judes is genuflecting in the middle, getting a pat on the back from Glenn. He's played well. All the Judes lads have played well, to be fair. You don't get 5-9 and be this far ahead in the county final by not playing well.
Yeah, I suppose I did say at the start of the game, Judes normally start, Nick commented a bit in the second half, which maybe hasn't happened today. And I also said, and this is a bit unusual, this from the previous 3 years, where there's normally a kick of a ball between these two teams for a league game or a championship game. So it's very unusual, and I suppose the outside world through our stream here on 24/7 are seeing maybe a step change or a difference from the previous outcomes of these games. St Jude's Tristan Lamb kicks another score off his right, but certainly you can feel how the game is sort of petering out here now, as we've had another score making it, I think that's 5-10 now to 2-3.
Yeah, it's like you said, that start has absolutely killed St Nick's. They didn't get their first score until 18 minutes. When they got their score, they were 2-6 down. They're 3-6 down now, maybe 3-7 when the score gets updated here. So for the last 40 minutes or so, 35 minutes, they're 4 points down. You can never give away a 12-point lead in any game. I don't care who you're playing.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're just working through a few things here. We think that was the 5-10 to 2-3. Again, as I mentioned at the start, Richard and myself's first time maybe in the commentary box, trying to control different mixing desk, etc., etc. But we think the score at 9 is reflective of what's on the pitch, 2-3 to 5-10. But there's been another shrill of the whistle here as the referee wants to speak to another couple of men of something I think that just happened from the previous phase of play.
Yeah, the ball went by Jude's guy on the ground. Matthew pushed him into the ground. Matthew's already been booked, so it'll be interesting to see what the ref does here. It's just a talking to. I don't think there was much in that, and I don't think that's biased from me. Matt pushed him a little bit. There was no strike or anything like that.
Yeah, as I say, probably a bit of the championship final and a bit maybe of the frustration and disappointment with Matthew, but both Sean and Matthew play in the county team, so a quick shake of the hands afterwards, as you can see. That's it. There's no love lost between these teams on the pitch, but after the game they'll shake hands and they'll have a chat together, and that's what the Irish do over here, and get together. I don't know what people know at home about Gloucester GAA, but it's a pretty big county, and you have to travel a couple of hours to play games. It's always good to be able to get games and still be able to play Gaelic football, even being so far away from home. Yeah, I think, and as Eamon has demonstrated with the referee when speaking to both the players, he looked at the watch saying, lads, with about 2 minutes to go and the scoreline of difference, let's just get through the next couple of minutes and get the game finished. Just have a word of thanks to I suppose a couple of people, our hosts here today from Hertfordshire. Their county finals actually on at Watford at 2 p.m. today. I haven't been able to keep an update on that. But the hosts here in Oxford and providing the facility to ourselves. It's probably a quiz question in the future. This game was destined to be played in Cardiff in Wales, so from a county final that was of 2 clubs that was meant to be played in another country of Wales, ended up being played in a different county, which is Hertfordshire here at Oxford. So thanks to our hosts here in Oxford. And also, while the referee were talking about it, thanks to Eamon coming down from Birmingham and all at Warwickshire GAA, and certainly for Chrissy Heffernan, who is the referees coordinator in Warwickshire, who provided Eamon and his team to come down today to help us officiate the match. It's nice to get a different referee, other than myself I'd say, but an independent referee from outside the county, really to progress the game. And it's been well managed with very little hassle in it, and also the 3 penalties, which is, as I say, probably another quiz question in the future as well. So Judes have got the ball, working it through the middle, trying to get back. Knicks have obviously ferried a few men back, but Judes are working it to the right for Gerard O'Mullen, and he's kicked another score, so that'll make it 3-11 as we're into injury time.
Yeah, it's all over here. Bar the shouting. St Jude's are on the sideline, they're shaking hands, they're celebrating, and you can't really blame them at this stage. As a St Nick's man, I can only wish them all the best going forward, and hopefully they represent the county very well. I echo what Kevin has just said there about thanking the ref for coming down. Thanks to the county board for organising this as well, and thanks for 24/7 for putting this on, and thank all of you for watching at home. And I've said thank you enough there in the last couple of minutes.
As the ball broke free, tried to flick it to the net, and it's just went to the wide. So we're into the referee's decision process, as St Jude's are just running their bench a little bit. Park Comerford's coming off here.
Could this be our chance? If they use too many subs, can we get this replayed?
Be a bit of a long shot now, Richard, but let's see what their keeper here does with this kick out, as we're entering the 62nd minute of the game. He's played it through, but the ball is broken and fallen to Nix. Nix is through with Sean McCullough. Sean McCullough, there's a man down. I didn't just see what happened. Number 12 in the middle of the field, which I think was just following through with the ball, but Nix certainly went through with it.
He looks like he's holding his collarbone, perhaps. I didn't see it myself. I'm not sure if we can get a replay.
I'd say no, I don't think we would, because listen to the referee. Eamon's in close proximity. I think it's maybe just a clash with 2 men going on the ball, but there may be just a little bit of a delay here, as we have an injured Judes player on the ground here. Looks in quite some discomfort. Jason there just putting that ball a bit wide to the left, and I suppose that sums up St Nick's Day. Anything they tried to do didn't really come off from today, and going back to your point earlier, anything Judes did, it was just sharper, more to the point, and clinical when they got in front of goal. And you score 5 goals in any game of football, you're going to be difficult to beat. Yeah, you probably saw the man in the bib jogging or limping and his way out to the injured player. This is Kieran Doyle. But certainly coming back to it, you can see Kieran Doyle, I'm going to say county chairman with the yellow bib here in the middle of the field. Goal scorer in the first half, but had to come off at half time. That's probably one of the main driving forces who started the club 9 years ago. St Jude's in Bournemouth started, and Kieran has been an advent GA man from Armagh, moving over to help set up this club, and has been the county chairman for the last 5 years as well. So you can wear many different hats here as well, be it players, managers, chairman, and county board officials. So well done to Kieran and all at St Jude's for sort of the outcome of this match as we've restarted. But surely we're at the referee's discretion as to the injury time left. Yeah,
I think the final whistle is just there now, and St Jude's have won this county final 5-11 to 2-3. Getting some handshakes here, all fairly cordial. St Jude's have done the 5 in a row now, Kevin.
I thought it was 4.
Is it 4?
We'll check it out. I thought it was 4. We're going to watch a bit of replays of the second half, and this is the goal for Tristan Lamb, which came almost 5 minutes into the second half. Next major talking point would have been the penalty, I think, where they've worked their way through, and clear pull of the player's hand as they're going through. Penalty taken by Gerard O'Mullen, as we said.
Put the penalty over the bar, just kept the scoreboard ticking there for St Jude's. That's all they needed to do at that stage. I think they were 3-8 to 1-3 up or something at this stage. And then another score here for Judes. You see a man in acres of space. He hasn't been in that much space his whole life, I'd say. And a nice cool finish as well. This is St Nick's goal, one of the few high points on the game, apart from Jason's penalty in the first half, and you can see the anger there in Peter putting that through. Yeah, so that's about all from us here today. Thanks, Kevin, here for joining me on commentary. We're just going to see St Jude's last goal, is it, I think, coming up on commentary. Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Like you say, it's both our first time doing this, so apologies if we tortured you for the last hour at home. Hopefully it didn't go too bad, and any feedback you have for us, for the county board, would be very appreciated, and maybe this is something that can happen going forward again in the future.
Yeah, I suppose myself, if I sign off here as we're finished up here, I have to obviously get out and do the trophy presentation. There's another job I have to do for the day. But yeah, thanks Richard for yourself for joining me on comms. To Sean and Chris from 24/7, thank you very much for such a professional package, and for all the people that watched. We hope you enjoyed a bit of Gloucestershire GAA and our county final this year. And as I say, congratulations to St Jude's. Runaway winners on a scoreline of 5-11 to 2-3. So congratulations to St Jude's, commiserations to St Nick's, and thank you all for attending and watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't be afraid to leave any comments or queries on Facebook or WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, maybe Twitter or Instagram. But thank you all very much, and we'll sign it off from there. Thank you.